Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me today. This is Susan Lopresti, and as always, I'm very grateful for you to be here, to be listening. So today I want to talk about, I entitled this episode, Staying Stuck in Your Shit. And so this is not a topic of staying healthy from a perspective, but it's more about staying healthy from an emotional perspective. So what do I mean by staying stuck in your shit? Well, in everyone's life, unfortunately, everyone will experience loss and hurt and deception. Maybe not all of those things, but bad things will happen to everyone. It's inevitable. Maybe you'll get divorced or loss of a parent, loss of a child, infidelity. It could be that it's drug addiction, either your own or someone that you love, or alcoholism, or loss of a job. There's so many things that will happen in a person's life that's devastating. And what I've noticed over the years, especially as I'm getting older, as you age, you get more experience, more life experience. So, what I've noticed over the years is some people that experience loss or devastation in some kind, they get stuck on that story. And that story defines who they are. And everyone and anyone that they can tell their story to, they do. And they remain in this place of being a victim of life. And they carry it around with them like a badge of honor. And this is their life, this is their story, and they're stuck in it because and I'm not minimizing. I want to go back and say I'm not minimizing what has happened to people, because I've been there as well. I'm speaking from my own personal experience as well. But what I notice about other people as I'm aging and learning more about life is that a lot of people don't move past it. And after a certain number of years, I think you need to pick yourself up and brush yourself off and say, okay, this happened to me, but how am I going to choose to live the rest of my life? Because staying stuck in that shit keeps you back. It holds you back. You're always in the negative. And where your thoughts flow, energy goes. So if you're always thinking about this negative part of your life that happens, then that's your main focus and that's your energy. And so you're just attracting more of that and not giving yourself the opportunity to attract anything better into your life. So who wants to stay stuck in their own shit for the rest of their life, right? And stay that victim? Because being the victim is not a good place to be. People are not going to admire you for being a victim, and you won't admire yourself for being a victim. But when you are a victim because something terrible happens to you, and you have to go through that grieving process, that I'm not saying that the next day you wake up and brush it off and it's all over, but with a reasonable amount of time, and everyone is different, so everyone's on their own timetable, but whatever that reasonable amount of time is individually, at that point, you need to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and move forward. So instead of being that the people, your friends, your family, people that you knew, people that you meet, notice that you're a victim, they can now turn around and say, wow, this person really made strides because they went through this terrible tragedy or this terrible loss or this whatever the event was, but they've come out on the other side better than they ever were before. And that's inspiring, right? That's what gives life and energy and hope to other people and yourself. If you're listening to this episode and you feel that you are the victim, you've been dragged down, you've lost, and you just keep identifying with that, you're doing yourself the biggest disservice of your life. Life is very, very short. And we were put on this earth to learn lessons. Nothing happens by chance. It's all planned out. Your soul brought you here, and there's a reason for it. And I think that it's supposed to be that you learn and you evolve and you grow from each individual experience that you have. And so staying stuck in your shit doesn't allow you and your soul to advance, to grow, to evolve, and become the best version of yourself. Because I know that I admire women who I hear their story and there was loss, there was tragedy or whatever, and they pick themselves up at some point and turned their life around and made it better than it ever was before. So people who were addicted to alcohol or drugs, and how they then turned it around and now they're helping people, or someone who had a terrible illness and was able to, by the grace of God, get healthy again. And instead of just staying stuck in that poor me story that I had, now you're out there helping other people to improve their lives, or whatever it is, just making your life better. So I'm here to say that if you are struggling and you've been in a situation and you really feel locked in, I'm not a therapist, but I do have my own personal experiences that I went through. And I've come out on the other side. But I would certainly say that if you're really in the thick of it and you're really struggling and it's not getting better and you're having a hard time functioning in life because of it, you need to find a good therapist who you could connect with, who can help you to move forward in this challenging time of yours. So my own personal experience, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but I went through it. I went through drug addiction and alcoholism with someone who I loved deeply. And it was heartbreaking to watch someone that you love destroying their lives, destroying their marriage, and just turning everyone's world upside down because of it. And it was a dark time in my life, very dark. And there were times where I had no idea how I would move past this and get out of it and have a life that was worthwhile living, because I was at a point in my life where the situation had stolen my spirit. I no longer had joy in my life. Nothing was joyful. I couldn't enjoy or experience anything that brought happiness because I was so dragged down by this darkness that it was really, really difficult for me to climb out of it. And I really think that the only thing that truly saved me was my daughter, because I needed to be strong for her. And she was the reason why I got up out of bed every day and went to work. And when I walked in the front door of my building, I left my problems at the door. I put a smile on my face and went to work, and no one, except for a few very close friends at work that I confided in, no one knew what my life was like. No one knew what the night before entailed, because I left it at the door. And little by little, I got involved with Marianne Williamson as far as that, the Course in Miracles. I followed that. I listened to Marianne Williamson on cassette tape, so that's how far back I'm talking about. I read a lot of her books. A Return to Love was a very big one for me. And also with the help of a therapist and going to Al-Anon meetings, and also sitting in on NA and AA meetings, I was able to navigate this time of my life in such an easy way, because I took baby steps. I had an ultimate goal that I wanted to be. I envisioned what my life could be like for myself and my daughter. And I held that vision in my mind. And every day I took baby steps in my life to get there, from selling my house to finding a new place to live, to getting promoted at my job to make more money so that I could afford to live on my own and, be self-sufficient. And it was the greatest thing that I did, because those steps and keep going to improve myself and leave that story behind. I wasn't taking it with me into my new life. I was leaving it where it belonged, in the past. And I also left my anger, my hurt, my resentment in the past as well. And I moved forward. And I just felt like I wanted to have this time of my life to be extremely a positive time in my life, because the first 15 years of my daughter's life was dark at times, very dark. And I wanted her to experience the light of life and to experience the good things in life. So as we moved forward and things got better and the light became apparent and the heaviness lifted off of my shoulders, off of my mind, out of my soul, and little by little, the spirit came back to me, and I found joy, and I reconnected with friends and family, and I started to live my life, which I wasn't doing for so long. And so I'm here to tell anyone who's listening on here, no matter what you're going through today, no matter what you've gone through in the past, at some point, you need to leave it behind and move forward and dust yourself off, put your shoulders back, and decide how you're going to choose to live the rest of your life. Do you want to stay stuck in your shit and your story and tell everyone your story of, poor me, this happened to me, I went through this, and this is what I'm left with, and this is how I feel? Or do you want to make a better life for yourself? And I really believe that it's possible that we could all do that. So please Don't stay stuck in your shit. Feel it, live through it, analyze it, work through it with a therapist, talk it over with your friends, find some spirituality around it to believe that everything that happens for a reason, good and bad. And the bad is just so that you could then appreciate the good. Because if you don't have that contrast, you'll never really appreciate the good until you experience the dark. And I'm going to tell you one other thing. I was in a business coaching group, and there's a woman that was in the coaching group with me. I never really became good friends with her. I don't know her personally, but we all connected on Facebook. We all became friends. And anyway, probably 3 months ago, I want to say, she had a devastating loss. Her husband, who was very young, they're a young couple. They have 2 young daughters. One, I don't even think is a year old, and the other one is probably 3 years old. Anyway, her husband was killed in a car accident. And here she is, from one day to the next, her world has been rocked. Here she is, without a husband, a young woman with 2 young children. And she shared it on social media, and I saw the devastation, and I saw everything. I believe he was a coach at a school or a college. And they had a ceremony, and she filmed it on Facebook. And I saw her with her 2 young daughters taking pictures, smiling. And she's been documenting some things that she's done with her girls since his passing. And she's an inspiration. I don't know how she is at night when she's home alone and, her world falls apart, but she's trying the best that she can. And she's probably, if I had to guess, she's probably doing it for her girls, right? To make their life better and not for them to see. It's already devastating enough for them. They lost their dad. But to see their mom fall apart, I mean, they need hope. So this brave, strong woman is showing her daughters hope. And I admire that so much. And I feel like if someone who goes through something as devastating as that, anyone could survive and move past it and, find the blessing, because she will have blessings. She may not know what they are today, but at some point, things will get better for her. So anyway, I just want to thank you so much for listening to me always. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And if you think that this episode or any of the episodes that you've listened to so far on my podcast would benefit someone else that you know, please share it out with your friends and your family and let people know about me, because I have a valuable message that I want to deliver to the masses. And the only way I'll be able to do that is with the help of everyone who listens, who shares it out. So subscribe to my podcast. I have a new episode that comes out every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you subscribe, you will get the notification and you go on and listen and share it. And I want to thank you. It's such an honor to know that you're spending your valuable time listening to me. So I hope that I am adding value to your wellness journey. And please reach out if you have any questions or any comments. I'm always here for you. Again, thank you so much for listening, and have a great day. Bye for now. Are you ready for a new reset? If you've been wanting to make changes to improve your health, to look and feel your best, you are not alone. Many women reach an age where they're realizing that the years are beginning to make a difference in them. They're not happy with the way they're feeling, and certainly not happy when they look in the mirror. I have a 12-week Goddess program that is open right now. It's a unique and customized program for each client who decides to join me for this transformation. This program sets you up for success long after the 12 weeks have ended. You will be armed with the tools and the resources necessary to accomplish the goals that you set for yourself. I am also hosting a 4-week Goddess Healing Program. This is a comprehensive program to work with me at an affordable rate to put you on the right path to achieve your health and wellness goals. Based on your health assessment and your goals, I will lay out a tailor-made program specifically for your needs. Both of these programs can be found on my website, www.susanlopresti.com. But before you sign up for either one of these programs, please go to my website and set up a 30-minute free health assessment with me to discuss your goals and desires. After we meet, if we decide that we would be a good fit for each other, then we could talk about which program would be most beneficial to you, and you could sign up directly from my website. But go to my website, www.susanlopresti.com, go to my health coaching programs, look at all the programs that I do have available, and then reach out to me for that 30-minute free health assessment. I really hope that you decide to join me on one of my programs, especially if you've been trying to improve your health on your own and you haven't had much success. You may need the support and the guidance from a health coach, and I would be honored to help you to achieve your health goals. Thank you so much for listening, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Take good care, everyone.